little bit up and down like a lot of spring balls. We win some, and some days are diamonds, some days are stones. Just recorded John Denver song, which I know a lot of. I think the emphasis the last week or 10 days was to play hard and get them running with football. We were still hot and cold with that today. I think especially toward the end. I don't think the guys are used to heat yet. So it was probably one of the warmer days that we've had. So I'm sure some of them probably got the game's worth of reps today. And I think that probably showed it. I have obviously not watching the film, but I think some of those guys wore down a little bit toward the end, toward the second half. That was a good reason to have that clock run. I kept saying, run the clock, run the clock, run the clock. So anyway, early on, I thought we probably did fine. We were extremely vanilla as far as any special things. We went back and forth. Today, we went back and forth as far as do we just run what we've been running in practice, because some of the stuff they're going to have on opponents are going to have on film from last year. But then we're doing some different things and some new things, so we just decided just to keep it close to the vest, try to make sure some of the young guys that haven't played a bunch of reps where they could execute, at least do the right things. And for the most part, we probably did. I think we did a decent job stopping the run today. For the most part, for the whole spring. We're going to have to get better at not giving up big plays. And again, that showed up a little bit today. Max protect, throw the ball deep, we got to win. We got to win those one-on-one matchups. It doesn't matter if you're man or zone. When they drop back, just chuck it as far as they can. It's one-on-one. You can't really double too many guys in that situation. So we weren't as good today as we need to be. Maybe that's a point of emphasis that we practice a little bit more. Next time we get to have a ball at practice, which will be in August. So we've got to improve that, obviously. We work really hard at getting them to understand angles, all spring ball. Somebody's got to be inside, somebody's got to be outside, and somebody's got to be over the top and fitting. I thought we did a decent job today and the last part of spring doing that. It seemed like we tackled okay today, and we've worked extremely hard at all the little fundamental parts of tackling. We've got to get better at creating takeaways. I didn't see a bunch of guys grabbing the ball today, which we've got to do a better job of. We've got to get better at that. So, and that was an awful long answer. So I apologize.
Some of those big plays, were they assignments or were they?
No, I mean, again, it doesn't matter if you're in any coverage. When quarterback drops back, and quarterbacks were a different color today, which means not allowed to hit them. Which means if you drop back and you know you're not going to get hit, you feel pretty good about it. It's like you got this little buffer zone around you. You know you're going to get hit, so I'm going to drop back. I'm going to eat a sandwich, chill out, drink a glass of iced tea, then I'm going to rock and fire and throw it as far as I can. And that just becomes a one-on-one situation. Now, when quarterbacks start becoming live, like in a real game situation, they tend to not want to sit back there and crow hop 3 times and throw it as far as they can throw it. A lot of those passes today where I'm going to drop back, and I may have a lot of guys around me, but they're not going to hit me. So I'm going to drop back and throw it as far as you can throw it. So some of that, you got to take, hey, we're going to get there. We did not blitz one time today. Sometimes you're gonna be able to get there before they can throw the ball deep. But it's just, we had interference started off. 2 guys down there banging. I think it was Bailey. Got called for a kind of incidental hand interference early, and then the official trips over the guy on the sticks, or they'd have probably called offensive interference the second one they caught down there when he just got pushed down to the ground. So a lot of things get going, and then now the corners become all paranoid. And so I know we gave up some plays. Just we struggled. We kind of got shook. Norwood, you know, I don't know if you saw a spaceship up in space somewhere on that last ball. You know, I know he never played outfield, obviously, because the ball, he jumped for the ball right over his head. And some of those are like, you know, hopefully that doesn't ever happen like that.
You may see more of those PIs in big moments.
Yeah, I know. I know. We just got to keep working at you know, they don't call offensive linemen for holding, and they don't call offensive pass interference. So I've already been briefed on that.
Neil said the defensive line has been one of the bright spots this spring.
No doubt. No doubt. Well, the first thing you got to do, if you can't stop the run, you can't stop anything. So we're going to be good at stopping the run. We're going to do what it takes, numbers wise, to have enough to stop the run. And then what you can do is if you get good enough with your defensive line that they force a lot of double teams, or if they don't double team them, then they make the plays. Then you can start spreading everybody out coverage wise and play minus box and do a better job versus coverages. So that's got to be a strength for us. It's going to be a super emphasis in recruiting for any defensive lineman out there that want to have fun and slant and angle and move and be allowed to charge upfield and be aggressive and want to come play. This would be a really good place for them. It's proven in this game that you're going to get a lot of sacks. So I think Wolfley today, I'm not sure who he was going against, but he was trying to set the school record in the spring game today. So anyway.
How do you handle it when the guy makes a good play and then gets the penalty for a silly thing?
You know what? I wasn't going to use an analogy, but I had second thought on I better not do that one. That's just part of the deal. You know, the officials are doing the best they can. I think unless you've been out there running around on the field with 275-pound men running around at full speed, and all it takes is for one of them to run over you. It's not the easiest job, and everything's happening really fast, and so I may get critical sometimes for the officials, but I know they got a hard job, and it's not like you're playing basketball and you sit there and see if somebody fouls somebody or not. It's a little different deal.
Circling back to the defensive line, the Stills brothers, this is a pretty good little gift. 15 minutes down the road, start.
Yeah, well, I think most everybody wants to have as many players as they can as close to their school as they can. I mean, that's because one, you obviously have endearment to that school. Everybody, when you go back home, knows who they are, and they have a certain pride. They can't just relax when it comes to not preparing, because everybody's kind of on them, hey, to do well. So it's really an added motivation. I think that's part of the thing Coach Brown understands when he wants to, obviously take guys in state first and move out from there. So there's no doubt that that's a good thing, but I mean, that's the way it ought to be. What's really bad is you got somebody that will be there and they went somewhere else. And we're going to do everything we can to not let that happen if it's somebody that we think is good enough to play here.
You'd be good players too, right?
Yes, sir. And better than that, I think they seem like they're pretty good young men.
What does the offseason challenge to Dante look like? I mean, he won't be a guy taking 5 trips.
He's got, they got to mature, obviously. We still have a lot of maturation stuff. I caught myself today like 3 or 4 times getting the defensive guys together and saying, y'all understand when there's a TV timeout, don't run on the field. There's going to be a guy in the red hat, oh, yeah. Or like, all right, defense, we're fixing to go, let's get down there and get ready. Well, half of them stayed down at the other end of the sideline. I mean, there was like several, right early in the scrimmage, I'm sitting there, there was like a half a dozen things that I just kind of took for granted that, you know, when we're going down here, all the defensive guys, when we go out there on the field and it's a timeout, all the defensive guys got to go out there. Now, a lot of them sitting back there, you know. So there's still a lot of things that I guess you take for granted that guys know and learn growing up that some of our guys still don't know. So we've still got a whole lot of teaching to do situationally. You know, there's 10 seconds to go at the end of the game. Okay, they put in number 10 at quarterback. What do you think they're going to do with the football? They got one play, and we don't make a play. So there's a lot of teaching we've got left to do. You know, you try not to take anything for granted, but it became apparent to me that I've got to continue to do a lot of coaching, teaching, situational things that we've just got a lot of improvement to make on.
Hey, you said no blitzing. You didn't do a whole lot of anything before the snap. I understand the knowledge for a reason, but how do you feel about your blitzes and some of that stuff you did?
I think what we've done in the spring is we kind of kept our blitz packages to a minimum. I know Matt may argue that a little bit, but we kind of said, all right, here's what we're going to do in our base stuff, and here's who we're going to be. And so our guys got a starting point from that. And we worked no sub-package teams. We didn't work any 12 and 21 package teams. We're going to get into the summer and start game planning our opponents, and then we'll get into that. We wanted to kind of just get what most of the Big 12 does, and what we'll be in 85%, 90% of the time. Now we start kind of specializing and training. Now we're also going to see who we now know who we've got. So who's going to be our edge pass rushers? You know, when they put in a fullback and a tight end, you know, who's our extra lineman we put in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, we're going to take this guy out and put a linebacker in there. Do we still play with Giovanni Stewart, or we put Reigns in? You know, so there's a lot of things, and now we can start kind of narrowing it down and fine point focusing who we're going to be.